What's good? You are watching Daniel and Gian Talk shit. I am Gian.
And I'm Daniel.
And we have a follow-up to our Game of Thrones podcast here. Daniel found an article in Pop Sugar by one Kate Schweitzer called One Annoying Thing from the Jon Daenerys Scene You Only Noticed If You're a Woman. Let's check it out.
I've read the article. Gian hasn't. He's going to read it aloud. It's not a long article. He's going to read bits of it out, but this is a special edition. I had to call him in because I just needed a vent on this shit, but go ahead and read it aloud.
One of the great feats of Game of Thrones is that for the hour every Sunday I spend watching each episode, I'm completely transported from reality and taken deep into the wild world of Westeros. When I was watching The Queen's Justice, however, one scene felt all too real, like ripped from the headlines. Why am I still protesting this shit real? It was the much anticipated meeting of Jon Snow and Daenerys, and it went a little something like this. You stand in the presence of Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, rightful heir to the Iron Throne, rightful Queen of the Andals and the First Men, protector of the Seven Kings, the mother of dragons, the Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, the unburnt, the breaker of chains.
I'll be Davos. This is Jon Snow. He's the king of the North.
The long-awaited scene garnered lots of chatter on social media, namely that the whole laundry list of Daenerys' titles is getting to be rather annoying, as is Daenerys herself,
True.
And about how refreshing it is that Jon Snow doesn't concern himself with accolades.
True.
He's the real deal. Did no one else see what I saw? Nope, I didn't.
Me either.
Because I was watching the most obvious metaphor for sexism in the workplace, the most stereotypical man versus woman job interview in fake history. Is that what happened? Or is it that Daenerys hasn't done shit for the past 4 fucking seasons? And maybe that's why people are tired of it. Because and that's completely on the showrunners because they've done a poor job of developing her story. We're not going to deny that. But she's still the most popular character or second most popular character on the show for whatever reasons. For the same reason why Wonder Woman is being called the best comic book movie ever. I'm going to leave it at that.
Let's proceed with the article because we haven't it hasn't even started.
Here's this orphan girl who spent the better part of her life being subjugated by men, toiling endlessly to rise up and do some good along the way. She freed a bunch of slaves. She's now in a position of power backed by a killer resume. She's a working mom with 3 unruly toddlers. She's proud of her accomplishments, and she isn't about to be all modest about it. And here's Jon Snow, a bastard with no birthright, yes, but a white man who apparently needs no introduction just the same.
He's a white man. He's a white cisgendered man in Westeros.
When do I get to respond to this?
I mean, you can respond whenever you want. It's more of this.
Okay, check it out. So Daenerys came to power because her fucking brother was talking too much shit and got melted gold dumped on his head and killed him, 1. And 2, I don't even remember why she got into the fire, but I think she decided to kill herself maybe when was that what happened? Like Khal Drogo died, so she got into the thing with him to die with him.
She wanted to die. She wanted to kill herself.
She wanted to die with him and then found out, oh shit.
I'm invulnerable to fire.
I'm invulnerable to fucking fire. This was not something she was planning. This was a fucking accident.
100% accident. And not only that, she didn't even expect those fucking dragons she didn't even think they were real.
And just like every other white woman out there, her privilege got her the success.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
Are you saying she's a blonde white woman and she just... People come to her.
I'm going to say out there, we want to throw the whole men thing out here completely. The white man, on top of that, want to completely ignore that she herself is blonde and white and is lifted up to a higher standard than the rest of us brown folk, men or male or female, man or woman, or whatever gender, title, pronoun you want to go by.
But I mean, no, it's fucking true. I mean, if you really think of what Daenerys did, what does she do? She was born into a family name that holds royalty. At this point in the show, obviously it didn't, but historically it does, right? Not to mention, he goes overseas and Khal Drogo sees a white woman. Oh, I'm going to take this white woman. I'm going to fucking mount her. I'm going to capture her. I'm going to rape her, which is what he fucking did.
Yeah.
Let's not bullshit about it.
He raped her.
He raped her. And then they got married, and then it became a whole big thing.
Well,
and
he didn't rape her till after they got married.
Well, regardless, they got married forcefully. It wasn't her choice. Because she was the lustful object. Just like historically, the blonde white woman, you think about King Kong. King Kong is going to, and that's why they used that metaphor for African Americans too in movies like Birth of a Nation, not the OG one, where there was a whole story around the mulattoes like getting the white women, the white blonde hair women. But because of that, in this show, she was elevated to a status that she never would have gotten to before.
Absolutely.
Because if
she's alive.
She's alive. If she didn't meet Call, she'd be dead. Period. She would have been dead.
And Jorah Mormont saved her ass.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but also because she's a blonde woman,
right?
I mean that he probably wants to fuck her.
And obviously, what is it? Kate? Is that who wrote this?
Kate Schweitzer.
Kate Schweitzer. Obviously, you don't watch the show that fucking closely because Jon Snow isn't a fucking bastard. We know the truth about him.
Ooh, burn.
And he does have a birthright.
I mean, that's kind of what the whole show is about, that he does have a birthright. But so let's see.
Sure, Daenerys spent a good deal of time on bend the knee semantics when there are justly some bigger undead fish to fry, which she hasn't seen. So I will defend her on that regard. Nobody has seen these things except for Jon Snow.
But before everyone writes off Dany as just another bossy bitch, consider the context. Daenerys hasn't seen Jon Snow in action. She doesn't know what he's done or what he's gone through to get here. That he took a knife in the heart and straight up died for his people. At this point, she's meeting yet another man who's probably planning to betray, rape, or murder her.
Speaking of taking a knife in the heart for his people, you know who else did that? Jesus, you heathen.
So many men have tried to kill me. I don't remember all their names, she aptly puts. She has good reason to stand her ground and to push for what she believes is justly hers. No one's fucking arguing that, though.
No one's arguing that at all.
She made it seem like it's this is an example of white man taking over in the workplace. What the fuck?
And let's examine the scene. Jon Snow shows up to Dragonstone. Just Dragonstone?
Yeah.
He shows up to Dragonstone
to ask for her help.
Him, Davos, and like 3 other dudes. Like he knows he's not going to win a fight if he tries to put one up. He's in a major position of weakness here. So for you to act like I don't know, I don't even know what you're.
Well, her point is the last line.
Okay.
Perhaps I read into this and the bitter realities of our male-dominated world with no place in that intimidating meeting room in Dragonstone, but I can't help but think that none of these eye-roll emoji-filled tweets about Daenerys would be making the rounds if she weren't a woman. That's so bullshit. It's stupid because the fucking Tywin, when Tywin would throw around his name or people lesser than him, I should say, lesser than Tywin, they would throw around like, I'm so-and-so. I'm a blah, blah, blah. What's his name? Who's the fucking the bald guy who Jon Snow decapitated? He was on the watch. He was like basically like,
oh, the guy that like tried to stab him in the back with the other dude.
And he would always
out like he took the woman. He took what's his face's Samuel's girl.
Right, exactly. Him. When he got power, I forget he got power at some point, and he'd always throw like his birthright out.
Yeah, like he's this from this family.
Exactly.
So that's what people do in this.
But I'm saying though, when he was doing that, people were fucking complaining, and he has a dick and balls between his legs. I'm assuming. I shouldn't assume his gender, but...
And I'm going to go back to people are complaining about Daenerys because she's a woman. People are complaining about Daenerys because her storyline has fucking sucked. That's really what it comes down to. We all tune into this show on Sundays. We all spend an hour plus watching it. And when we get to the Daenerys sequences, most of us are like, oh, God damn it.
Please, something exciting happen.
Get there because so she has one scene per season where something crazy happens. And other than that,
it's enough to keep you going.
It's just posturing. It's just fucking posturing and talking. How excited were you about the slave traders coming back? What are they?
I didn't give a
harpies?
Fuck.
What are they called?
The harpies, yeah.
Are they called the harpies? I don't even know that's how much I cared about that. Like I don't even remember what the names of the bad guys
I was
were.
more mad at the fucking harpies.
Marine.
The harpies killed fucking what's his name? Sir Barristan Selmy.
Yeah, that sucked.
He's not even dead in the books. There's no reason why he needed to die. Why did he die? For what? For nothing.
For revealing secrets about Rhaegar Targaryen.
That's not why he died in this.
That's why.
He got stabbed by the harpies.
Can't let anybody know who Rhaegar really was. He's a rapist and an angry person.
Oh, so the world of Game of Thrones killed him for that?
The world of Game of Thrones killed him for being a snitch because we're all supposed to hate Targaryens except for Dany.
Apparently, we're not supposed to hate her. It's because she's a woman. So now we can never hate her because she's a woman. Because if we hate her, it's automatically sexist.
I don't hate her. I just think her storyline's been shit.
So for the non-existent women fans out there, we have if you've seen this scene, Did you notice what she was talking about? Is it the one annoying thing where when you saw it, were you like, fuck, I'm so annoyed. I can't believe this fucking blatant sexism is in this fucking show.
And that part didn't even like annoy me. Like that part was a moment of
It was a
levity.
joke.
It was a joke because the joke was on Jon Snow. That he's
the king of the north.
This Jon Snow right here. He the king of the north.
That's it though. Like,
His hype man fucking failed him. All right.
I mean, literally.
If Jon Snow was Jay-Z, that dude would have lost his job during the concert. Okay. All right. He's gone. Jay-Z would have fucking brought out somebody else and replaced him on the spot. Okay. Davos let him down. But you can't do that in Westeros.
Yeah, you can't turn down the Onion Knight. He's the only supporter he got. So, you got to use what you got. But in my opinion, truthfully, like let's take the rant down for a second here. I know this is not going to be an extended long video, but the point of that exchange was this, in my honest opinion, to show how stupid titles are.
Yeah.
Because Daenerys has all these fucking titles, but what does she really have? Nothing.
No.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman or whatever else. She's basically captured places that are irrelevant in Westeros. And what has Jon Snow done? Well, he's united the North, and he's the king of the North.
Reunited the North.
Exactly. Reunited the North. Excuse me. But am I saying that's
with the help of Littlefinger?
Sure. Am I saying that is a great accomplishment and that rivals her? No. But the fact that Davos didn't go off, he could have made some shit up. He could have said that he's blah, 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 but he didn't because it's not relevant to what's going on because it's a commentary on the greater threat of everything, which is the fucking White Walkers. So
that's the juxtaposition of the scene.
Right. It has nothing to do with like, oh, let's show pay inequality. Let's make sure we have a Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Keeping the white woman down again.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with that. Not at all. I'm just saying. And they're fucking related. So even if that's what it's about, it doesn't matter. They're fucking related. And we're living in a medieval world in which male superiority is evident from the get.
And what I want to know, Kate Schweitzer, is where was your article last week when Jon was telling Sansa to shut the fuck up?
Ooh.
Not a word. Not a goddamn word.
Well, clearly it wasn't as blatant as this one was. That you just don't understand.
No.
This one was the one annoying thing about
in
the scene.
Westerosi, he straight up said, shut the fuck up in front of people too.
She was too excited about the fact that they had the gender inclusion scene, okay? She was overwhelmed by that.
I guess
and
so.
And I can almost guarantee you, Kate, that you're one of these fucking people who I bet dismissed the show entirely when Sansa got raped. I'll never watch another episode of Game of Thrones again. Ever again. Never. It's gone too far. You pushed the limits. This is just too much.
Or when Cersei got raped by Jaime.
It's too far. It's too much. I just can't handle this. This is not the show that I started with. This is not, I don't know what it's become. And then what happens? I see fucking Facebook updates about you guys still watching Game of Thrones, you fake fucks. That's what it is. Kate, you're a fake fuck. I'm sorry. You're fake. This is bullshit. You're writing it for clicks. You got it. You won. She clearly won. Right now, she's winning. The fact that we're arguing about this and whatever, but I'm sorry. This is bullshit. This is really bullshit that we have to deal with shit like this now because articles like this I never fucking saw 10 years ago.
And to finish this video, Kate, the next time you go out for a nice meal, I hope your service is terrible and you hate your food.
We love you, Kate.